All right, it's weird because I actually did a video and audio on ranking the seasons, and I'm like going through season seven, why people hate it so much. And the initial audio was just too lengthy, so I'm like, you know what, just put out a more concise version because it was just too much rambling. So make it more concise. So I just want to give the preface to this commentary because basically I had an other channel which for YouTube reasons I can't access at the moment. Hopefully I'll be eventually able to get back to it. But I did several videos on Buffy, and some of the videos that gained a lot of traction were, well, we just have to say it. There's no nice way of saying it. The rape scene in Buffy was Spike in Seeing Red. So at the time, I did a lot of research for Seeing Red, but I didn't know certain things, which now that I know more, I'm even more shocked that people were arguing against me. So my basic argument is that this didn't feel in character for Spike the character. I want to be very critical here. That if Seeing Red was with another character or a different story, whatever. I still don't think Seeing Red is a good episode because season 6 is a mess. It has some great episodes, but for the most part, it's kind of a stupid, rambling hodgepodge of nonsense. However, I do respect the intention of the writers to try to comment on the situation, which it's Buffy. Buffy has a lot of messages. However, it just seemed to really ruin the character for no reason. It just felt like a cheap trick. And just within the internal mythology, it didn't add up for me. So that's my basic thing. So excuse me if we ramble a little bit. So why am I going to just do this commentary? And this is not a full commentary on Seeing Red. This is more like a preface to the problems I had with it. So there are two major problems. One, it doesn't fit Spike. Two, it's a creation of Marty Noxon. So there's no nice way of putting it. This is not something that Joss probably would have done. This is something that Marty thought was a good idea. And again, I want to be careful here. I'm not saying it's even a bad idea in question. It's just doing it with Spike is really shocking. And I don't think in a good way. Right. So if you want to have clearly this anti-rape message, I don't think many people would object. Right. And to be fair and critical, let me be very brutal towards Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Right. Just to be consistent. They do the same thing. So there's a scene that's very shocking at the end of episode 3 where, and again, it's similar to Buffy, but it's a little different, where there's an attempted rape scene. Again, it's stopped because the hero Dunk stops it. He fights the guy trying to commit the rape, so on and so forth. And if you know the Game of Thrones universe, they do that a lot. They really exploit rape a lot as a subject. And I can't not use the word because that's what they're doing. And beyond a certain point, it got a little stupid. Now, I actually defend a lot of what they did with Game of Thrones, even with Sansa. But beyond a certain point, it got a little stupid. And to me, episode 3 was like, they're doing it again. So it's one thing to comment on all these things, whether rape, genocide, power, corruption. As a writer or director, I don't think there should be any censorship. And it should go all over the place. If you're a woman, female comedian who wants to joke about rape, that to me is totally fine. I have no issue with that. However, if you're going to do it in a more serious, dramatic way, I think you have to be a little bit careful. So one, it really ruins a lot of the mythology of Buffy because it creates a lot of questions and problems, which we don't have with Spike. So we do see Spike over and over again being violent and being very coercive with women. However, we have never, ever, ever seen him, ever, before Seeing Red, try to coerce a woman to have sex. That never happens. I mean, it depends if you think, vampires biting a woman is erotic. Technically, in a way it is, but, it's not really sexual intercourse. It's a metaphor. One, it's not something Spike does. Also, we've seen canonically over and over again, to put it mildly, he has a lot of weird tendencies with women. But this is a character who's defined by passion and compassion for women. right? Like, he protects Dawn. He has a friendly relationship with Buffy's mother. Buffy's mother! They even show us him getting flowers for Joyce after she dies. Right? When he confronts Buffy in season 5, he's ready to kill her with a gun. She sees she's crying and is like, oh, why are you crying? So we've seen Spike 10, 20 times. When he has a chance to kill a woman he hates, he still picks mercy. Now, I understand the message that the writers were trying to say. Yes, he's better. He's become more of an anti-hero, but he's still really evil. He's still really dangerous. We've seen that already. We know that. He's an opportunist. And we've definitely seen him cross the line. And that's fine. They did that. I mean, it could have been done better, but, like, for instance, in season 5, he has that ridiculous episode where he ties Buffy up and tries to force her to love him, which obviously is totally stupid. That's very much in character for Spike, that he's totally in love, but can't find a way to communicate his feelings. That's very much in character. But it shows what he is. He's a jerk, he's a moron, and he's overstepping his boundaries, right? That's fine. So you can say Spike is many things. He's a predator, he's toxic, he's a moron. But really? He's a rapist? Beyond the obvious canonical problem, like, okay, do we have anything prior to this that gives us any clue that he would be a rapist? And the answer is no. Like, the only thing I could find being serious about this is in season 3, he says, oh, I'm going to go back to Drusilla. I'm going to tie her up and beat her up. And some people honestly take that to be, well, you see, there's a clue how misogynistic he is. Guys, they're vampires. If you torture a female vampire, you know what happens? They heal. Right? The relationship that Drusilla has with Spike is not healthy. It's very toxic. They're mutually toxic. There is no evidence that Spike intentionally hurts Drusilla for pleasure. Quite the opposite. Throughout all of season 2, he sacrifices for her. He even forgives her infidelity. Right? And Jealous and Drusilla are literally having sex and tormenting while he's disabled. Does he get revenge on Drusilla? No. So we just see a consistent record. I mean, really the only female he seems to genuinely hate is Harmony. But, Harmony, for those not familiar with the Buffy myth, is, right, nobody can stand her. So he's not alone. Right? So it just feels that, and again, this is a preface. I'm not doing a full discussion here, but it just felt really, first, you felt like an idiot, right? One, the thing I cannot get past is that Buffy has super strength, right? Could Buffy be raped? In principle, yes. If you drug her, take away her power. We've seen episodes where she's very physically vulnerable, and she could be assaulted in that way. That is totally possible in the Buffy universe. But in that scene, there is no way that's going to be able to happen. Once she has all this power, she is canonically stronger than Spike, right? And I'm cheating here, but if you go to the Angel, season 1, Angel says this, saying, you're a whole lot stronger than I am. And we've seen this. We've literally seen this in Buffy. She was able to separate Buffy, was able to separate Riley from Angel, no problem. She literally was able to just throw them to the wall. So, yes, it's a little weird because, Sarah Michelle Gellar is smaller. Yes, it's true. So it's plausible if you don't know the Buffy myth. But if you do know Buffy, if you're a long-time viewer, you're going to be like, how is he able to do any of this? Literally, Buffy could just grab him and just throw him out the window. Game over. So, one, it's not appropriate to the character. Right? There are different ways to show Spike is toxic, and Spike is not a good, right, romantic partner for Buffy. That's fine. I'm not obsessed with Spuffy in that way. I think Spuffy works, but if the writers are like, we don't think Spuffy's a good idea, That's fine, but you can do it in an intelligent way. Whereas here it's just so ham-fisted. It is like, well, now there's no way. Well, I don't believe what you're showing me because it does not fit this character with 95% of what's been shown to me prior to this. There are moments that are not canonical because they are what they are. Like there's a moment with the chip. When the chip is activated, Spike is able to hit people. That is clearly not right. And Joss Whedon, to give him credit, admits it, saying, yeah, we messed up on that one. He should not have been able to do that. They reshot it. It still looks bad, but it is what it is. So there are some moments that we can overrule the canon because it's like, well, that makes no sense. And the writer and director says, yeah, that didn't make sense. We messed up. Don't just ignore that. This is not one of those cases. So you can just say, well, just ignore seeing red. It's one bad scene. It structures too much of season 6 and season 7, right? So it's just a mess. And so even though Marty Noxon had good intentions, like this is an important subject, the way they do it is really horrifyingly stupid. I don't believe this at all. We're not even getting to external stuff, which James thought, I don't want to do this scene. He got traumatized and had to take therapy. So good work there. And just the scene itself is stupid and silly. I mean, if you go through seeing red itself, you're going to be like, this is a really bad episode. So just tonally, it is so radically off from the other plot lines and the story. Like, the only justification you can find for this at all that is legit within the canon, just with the story, is that, well, this motivates Spike to get the soul, right? Because he's horrified, so he's going to get the soul to redeem his action. You could still do that in other ways, right? But something, there's a lot here that just really makes me angry the more I think about it. Because, like, well, you've made it central to this character that he loves Joyce. He actually loves Joyce because beyond Buffy, he likes her. They have common interests, right? Passions. They talk to one another. They're friendly with. I cannot think of a case where Spike, who is defined by his love for his mother, would even think of doing this to Buffy. Right? I mean, I don't mean to be brutal here, but I'm glad Joyce got killed off because there is no way Spike would do that if Joyce was alive. He'd be too ashamed. So it just feels very cynical with the canon. And again, does it happen? Yes. We have sometimes seen Spike both ends. He will act very kind, or he will act like very predatory. He will act like a stalker, or he will act very merciful. So we've seen both extremities. But there's no motivation for this extremity. Like, the only thing we have is he speaks to Dawn and feels something. Okay? That's about it. We'll also put aside the chip, a lot of plot holes, yada, yada. And the way it's framed is kind of silly, too. So, yeah, but I'm going to work on that essay again. It's just, and again, that's fine. We're going to differ on Spike. To put it, Spike is a very polarizing figure. I think for the most part, I find the story believable, but to me, seeing red has always been this massive hole of insane stupidity. And I understand people rush to defend it, although, to put it mildly, it's dropped a lot in popularity. But I think people are like, well, no, the issue is not, well, this is an important subject, or, well, it's possible. It's definitely possible Spike might do this to a woman. I'd grant that. Or even a Slayer. He would never do this to Buffy, the daughter of the mother he admires and likes and protected and even mourned. I mean, he protected the daughter who's not even real, which is Dawn. Like, why would it's just, this is just Laffy Taffy nonsense. It's like, why not just have Xander be a cannibal? Oh, he hates women. Oh, he's going to start eating women all the time. Like, again, it's not like you can't change things. Spike has been radically altered, but if you're going to radically alter Spike, where I believe he's now a rapist, we need a lot more than, oh, he talked to Dawn, he's a little upset. That is not how it works. The changes in Spike took, 2.5 seasons to establish. So if you're going to go from, oh, he's just, which is possible, he's gone from just being coercive or gaslighting to full on, he's a rapist, okay, fine. I think that's a bad decision still, but you want to be careful to go slowly through that. They just don't care. They're like, oh, whatever. Like, how did we go from him trying to seduce Buffy to be a creature of the night to, oh, I think I'm going to rape you? That is so stupid. And whatever you want to say about Spike, he's not stupid in that way. And again, this is not the only TV show or the only time that a TV episode is like so radically stupid. I'm like, really? So it's not like Game of Thrones season 8 where it's total nonsense, but it's kind of bottom of the barrel. And it's very cynical because like Marty Noxon is just not that intelligent. You know, she's not a good writer. I can prove that to people. Like, this is not me speculating. She's really stupid. So if you're going to handle this material, you better be, you know, very careful. One, also, you better be very talented. She's not. So it's like the worst of both worlds. Fine. I think this is questionable to do the story, but fine, do the story. But if you're going to do it, you better do a really good job. And instead it's just like, I can't say it's bad writing, but it's like, this is pretty plain, right? I mean, the dialogue, I mean, the acting is excellent, no doubt about that, but the writing here is very plain. Ask me again why I can't trust you. You don't need to trust them. You have super strength. You can just throw them away. Oh, God, it's just... So anyway, I'm going to prepare something for Seeing Red, but I just want to get some of my venting out of their way, because I'm like... Argh. And to be fair, I'm going to do some places where I'm going to praise Buffy, like give it a 10 out of 10, but boy, Seeing Red is one of those things like, really? And Buffy has sometimes been really stupid, like beer bad, but I mean, like, really? We're going to do this in such a really stupid way? It's shocking. It's just shocking that they did this and thought that hey, we're brilliant. Hey, we're just going to radically change Spike. Everyone's like, hey, great commentary on toxic masculinities. More like commentary on really privileged white women who have no clue what the hell they're talking about. It's more a commentary on that, if anything else. There you go. Happy Black History Month.